What's up? 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 What's happening, Steeler Nation, man? Thanks for tuning in and welcome to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, live from the Steel Basement, ready to get right into it. Long day. Y'all know my Tuesdays are long. Not only did I take my little boy to his practice, they have a gym inside of the facility, so my wife and I worked out as well, and yeah, got it in. But let's get right into it, man. No need to waste a whole lot of time. We know there's not a lot to talk about in the off season. We're going to talk about the draft, just a little recap. But really this show is for the calls. It's for the calls. I haven't had a chance to talk to you guys in a while. So phone lines are open, and I want the show to mainly be phone calls tonight. Mainly. Still keep them short, but I want to get you guys in, man, so I can hear from you all as well as read your comments, after you have digested the draft, and we'll touch on that just a little bit. But let's get right into it, man. Let's say hello to the early commenters: Big Dro, Nathan Manco, Sonny Rothmiller, Jamie Tresvant, Mark Cunningham, Dietrich Bundick, 55 Porter, Black Thanos, Y Diggy, Rel Fax. Hello, Lanisha, the lovely Lanisha in the building, guys. Make sure y'all take care of our lovely ladies. Say hello, treat them with care, and lay out the red carpet. Who else is off up in here early? Let's see. Brian Williams, Joshua Shields, Kev So Nice, good brother Kenyon in the building, Steeler Cards, Elisa Shepard. Hello, Miss Alicia. Again, Elisa again. I'm assuming. Don't sue me. Just looking at the name, I'm assuming you identify as a lady. So we're going to treat you as such. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But everyone, say hello to Elisa as well. Lay out the red carpet for the lovely ladies. Who else is in here? BQ412. Freaky MC. And Jeremy Johnson. What's good, Jeremy? I guess we can... Michael Van Leer is in the building as well. Just make sure I didn't miss anybody, and we'll go ahead and get started. I saw somebody say hello, Debbie. So hello, Debbie, if Debbie's in the building. Hello, Debbie. Hello. All right, let's get right into it, man. Listen, a couple quick things I'm going to talk about outside of the draft picks. It looks like Omar Khan did put to bed, any rumors or any thoughts of, I guess, trading for a wide receiver. I'm going to basically pull up some of the information that I saw here and just see if there's anything, specific that we can pull from it, But he basically said he heard about the rumors. And he says there's nothing going on right now. Now, of course, the question would be, man, would Omar Khan tell us the play? I don't think so. And I only bring it up just to remind people, man, don't read into everything that you hear in terms of what's factual and what's not factual when it comes to the GM, when it comes to the head coach. Hey, when it even comes to the coordinators, don't read into everything you hear. These guys are not going to outright tell you what's going on. It's no way that you believe that they would do that, right? Well, we'll take him at face value. He says there's nothing going on right now, but let's just hold on to the right now. Because I do think that the Pittsburgh Steelers do need another proven outside receiver. Now, again, taking a guy like Roman Wilson, that's a good look. This guy primarily plays in the slot, tough kid. I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with him being a Michigan football player. I'm sure you guys saw Michigan football throughout the season. Very tough dude, man. A combat catch guy, even, at his stature. Works the middle of the field a lot. Again, mostly slot capable. Don't know if he's going to be your another guy on the outside, even though I think he is interchangeable. But, clearly he made his hay on the inside. Interesting enough, I saw a post saying there should be some interesting practices because they showed a play in which he scored against Joey Porter Jr. And the interesting fact was JPJ was playing in the slot when he, got beat by Roman Wilson. And again, I would reiterate that that's not Joey Porter Jr.'s forte. He's not a slot cornerback. He's more so on the outside, press, all in your face type of guy, but, putting him inside. And I think it may have just been, I didn't watch the game, I just saw the clip. Maybe they had JPJ shadowing or following Roman Wilson around the field, which is the reason why maybe they caught him in that lineup. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Now these guys are teammates, so training camp and things like that should be very interesting. But yeah, I do think the Steelers may need another big body type on the outside or just another proven outside guy. All of the rumors that we heard about, of course, Brandon Ayuk, never believed in that personally. And then also you're looking at a guy like Cortland Sutton. I did not really believe in that either. I mean, again, the thing that you have to think about, Steelers fans, for you guys who are wanting them to do it, you have to think about, and this is what I always say to fellow Steelers fans when, you wonder why the Steelers don't trade for this guy or what have you. You got to understand it's a business. These players also have a little bit of say-so in terms of where they go with trades. They can request, hey, I want to go to this type of team. Hey, I want to go to a team that's in the position to yada, yada, yada. What is your price? Talking to his team, what is your price? Okay, can you shop these particular teams? That's where I want to go. So it's not always just the Steelers talk to the team and that's it. The player, the agent, the player's current team, all of those people are also at play. And you guys have no idea what else is going on outside of just a straight up trade. Because again, you can imagine if Brandon Ayuk was trying to get paid with the 49ers, you better believe him and his agent, whoever trade partners may possibly be, they're trying to get like a wink handshake deal done before the trade. So it'd be more like a trade and sign. Do you guys really think the Pittsburgh Steelers are in the market today to pay market value for a guy like Brandon Ayuk? I don't think they would. And again, Cortland Sutton ain't going to be too far behind that. Less than Ayuk, but not too far behind that. And again, it's the market. Look at what these receivers are getting paid. Some of these guys, these recent guys who just got extensions. Steelers ain't looking to do that. So maybe they will sign another low-level guy. Again, Van Jefferson is also another guy that I don't necessarily know how much impact he would have on the outside. Again, he kind of moved around a lot with the Rams, kind of became the forgotten man, if you will. So we'll see. But, listen, again, one thing we have to consider is Arthur Smith, his offense, and it might not require another dog on the outside. So we shall see. Outside of that, the only other thing I did want to talk about, man, the nickel cornerback position. You can't plug every hole with the draft. There was still some question marks out there, even after this draft. Who will be the nickel? Will we bring in an old veteran? Will we bring in a guy like Pat Pete? The rumor has it that the Steelers had talked to Cam Sutton. I don't know, how that plays out. I don't know what's going on with his legal stuff, but the question still remains, who would be that guy? Some people are saying maybe Darius Rush, maybe, right? Also, that kid that they got, the Beanie Bishop kid, out of West Virginia, he's a slot capable type of corner. So we'll see what happens, man. Again, we've been trying to replace a guy like Mike Hilton since he left. And Mike Hilton was also a UDFA. So let's not forget that. I want to remind everyone that I know we all get caught up in draft capital and, as far as not really capital, but draft prospects and where they went and what round. We get caught up in that a lot. And then you can say that's across the league with fan bases. Excuse me, but it doesn't always determine what you're going to be. It does not always determine what you're going to be. We have a good amount of examples right here in Pittsburgh, right? You don't even have to say Tom Brady went in the 6th round. No, we had Antonio Brown, who went in the 6th round. We had guys like Debo. You know, these type of dudes. Jaylen Warren. Mike Hilton. You know, so it used to be a time that I didn't pay much attention to some of these guys that were late round picks or UDFAs, but we have plenty of examples. And I only say that to say you never know. Dude like Beanie Bishop might, you know, turn out to be something. So keep your eyes very close to that, you know, and we'll find out as, you know, sooner than later, I guess, or at some point we'll find out who they plan to play in the nickel cornerback position. But outside of that, like I said, man, yeah, I definitely wanted to give you guys the opportunity tonight. Let me see. Right now, only 2 calls in the queue. But tonight, man, is more so about the phone calls than it is me talking. Only other thing I'm going to talk about, man, is just do another quick recap on the draft. Again, guys, I still feel the same way. Let me pull up everybody's name here just to make sure I get their names right. I still feel the way I felt when we drafted last week. I think the Steelers did an outstanding job, man. It's unbelievable what they were able to pull off and the value they were able to pull off and the players and positions without having to trade up, trade back, none of the above. And they were able to walk away with what I would say one of the better draft classes from top to bottom. And I'm not talking about just the player. I'm just talking about positional need, value at position, guys who will potentially contribute early. And I'm liking that trend. Just like last year. JPJ and Benton and guys like that. I'm loving the trend now of the young guys coming in and contributing right away, because that's how your team gets younger. We all know as a fan base, the Steelers had a problem, you know, for quite a few years where we kind of just went with the older guard. Now we're starting to see more youthful guys, whether they're rookies or second-year players or what have you, start to really be a part of the contributing team. You know, we got our captains and our dogs, you know, and a Cam Hayward and a TJ Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick. But around these guys, we're starting to get youthful and younger and extending these contracts. And what I mean by that is the younger you are, the longer time period you have these guys under contract. Beautiful thing. First round. You mess around, you sat tight, and you ended up landing Troy Fautanu. Couldn't ask for better than that. And again, you can argue, we can debate as a fan base as far as what position you prefer, but you could not and you cannot argue the value of that pick where they got him. You turn around in the second round, and all week or the weeks leading up, you know, many people felt like the Steelers needed to take a center right away because they felt as if they didn't take one in the first round, they may have to move up to secure one of the top 3 guys in the second round. But guess what? Once again, the draft board falls unpredictably with Michael Penix Jr. and the Falcons, and that kind of just sent the boards in disarray. And the Steelers were able to sit tight at pick number 51 and walk away with Zach Frazier. Again, position of need and a guy who may very well be the starter. Pittsburgh Steelers also needed to address the wide receiver position when we're talking about offense. And what do? With the deep wide receiver class, they're able to sit tight at pick 84 and get Roman Wilson out of Michigan. What do they do after that? They're able to sit tight, get a value pick at pick number 98. A little bit of a risk, but you get the guy who was considered the best linebacker in college football in 2023. For those of you that don't know, Buckus Award winner, 4.4 speed, Peyton Willis. Excuse me, Wilson. I don't know why I said Willis. Peyton Wilson. Now, if you watch college football, even if you watch it casually, you've probably seen this guy play and you probably heard his name throughout the season. Again, considered the best linebacker in college football based off of stats and performance. Yes, a little bit of a risk because this guy, I had no idea his injury history was that extensive. 2 ACL injuries, shoulder injury. From what I've been told, those injuries more so occurred 2 to 3 years ago. And also another interesting fact, he only has one ACL. One of his knees does not have an ACL. So I guess some people would say, oh man, that's a risk. But at number 98 overall pick, that's a good gamble I would take. Because clearly he's able to perform in his current condition. So I don't mind spending a 3rd round draft pick on that to pair him alongside a Patrick Queen, alongside a Cole Holcomb when he comes back, alongside a Landon Roberts. Look at that 4. Look at that core group of 4. I'm cool with that pick as well. And one thing I did not know, guys, and y'all heard me talk about it on the pre-recorded video I did on, what was that, Friday night? I had no idea that Hines Ward only had one ACL. I never knew that. And Greg Lloyd. Never knew that. And they say Thurman Thomas. So these are guys who clearly were able to perform at a high level with only having one ACL. So what do the Steelers do in the 4th round? Pick 119. They come right back and they get an offensive guard. Smaller school guy, South Dakota State. But you turn on the tape, and I haven't watched a full game. I just watched his highlight package, or honestly admit that. This guy plays with nasty. And that's what you're hearing from Pat Myers and others describing this guy. But what they were describing, you can see it in his highlight reel. He plays with tenacity. I'm liking that pick. That's a value pick as well. Siamalo is a guy who's getting older. Doesn't have such a long contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers. As well as a guy like James Daniels. Doesn't have such a long contract. See, I'm loving what Omar Khan is doing here. Securing lengthy contracts with young players. So then they turn around and they get Logan Lee, defensive end. So it's good to see that we also address the defensive end. I don't know much about him. I really got to watch some tape on him. What is very interesting, though, is this guy won't even have to change his colors. Out of Iowa, he's going to be wearing the yellow and gold once again. Yellow and gold. Black and gold once again. Y'all see I'm talking all over the place tonight. But yeah, how fitting is that? That is very interesting. And then last but not least, man, they come away with a cornerback, Ryan Watts, out of Texas. I am familiar with him. This is another guy that's kind of played all over the secondary. So will he have an opportunity to perhaps play the slot or nickel position? We shall see. But I really like, and I'll shut up after this because I want to hear from you guys. I really like the value in this draft, man. I mean, if you're telling me that the Steelers were going to walk away with 2 highly touted offensive linemen in the first 2 rounds, Roman Wilson, just those 3 picks alone, and then behind that, an inside linebacker that was considered the best in college football based off of statistics and award, another guard, a defensive lineman, and a quarterback. I don't think I could have asked for better. That's my opinion. I think Omar Khan and company knocked this draft out of the box. Out of the park. Clear home run. So I really don't have many complaints, man. And like I said, I'm having fun already. I will come back with you guys with a report, but I've already watched some film on a couple of these guys, but I want to get everything together before I really start giving my opinions. Exciting times, man. Exciting times. So that's what I got on it, man. I'm going to see if we have any phone calls in the queue. Hopefully we do. And after that, man, I'll jump right into the chat. We don't have to spend too much time here tonight. So we do have a couple calls so far. Y'all know the routine, man. Happy to take your call. Make it quick. Please don't make me mute you and move on. Also, if you feel the need that you must get your phone call answered, you could drop a donation in the chat with your area code and I will move you up the list. And the same thing goes for comments. If you must get your comment read, send a donation. But if not, I will do my best to answer the calls and read the comments. All right, first in the queue, we have area code 318. What you got for us?
Whoa, what's up, huh?
What's going on, brother?
Oh, nothing much. Hey, I'm glad to hear that, you was working out today. That's what's up, man. That's what's up, you and your little man. I'm glad y'all doing you. The draft, bro, I loved it, man. After we, got the tackle and center, we could have drafted the water boy for all I care, bro. That was a solid. Them was solid picks, man. Yeah, secondary, DBs, yeah, we gotta feel like we can pick something up in the off season, but yeah, Omar Khan is cooking. He been cooking the last 2 years. And I got a question, you think with Kevin Colbert, for the last couple of years, do you think he was catering more to the team, or do you think he was catering more to Big Ben? Other than that, man, you have a good night, and yeah, that's what's up.
Man, thanks for the call. Like always, appreciate it. That's a very good question. I love those questions when y'all put me on the spot and I have to think. I think it could be a bit of both, maybe. Here's what I mean. I don't know if he was catering to Big Ben as much as he was being conservative because of Big Ben. We have to remember, and a lot of times we all forget. I didn't forget, but there has been times that I would reference how much better Omar Khan is doing than Kevin Colbert, but I forget one detail. Big Ben, the guy who got paid $100 million, I think 3 times with the Steelers. Significant cap hit for the Steelers for multiple years. And that is huge. That is a big deal. So I think a lot of that bargain basement or garbage time shopping that Kevin Colbert would pull off, I think that was part of it. But like I said, I don't know if it's hard for me to say that his picks and or free agent signings were catering to Big Ben, because it just brings me back to the Mason Rudolph draft and how upset Big Ben seemed to be. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, how much longer do you think you're going to play? But I understand it from, heart of a champion, if you will, or somebody who wants to win now and he knows he's not going to play forever. I get it. But I really needed to see Ben be more of a leader in that situation. And it doesn't necessarily mean a leader to Mason Rudolph, but it does mean present yourself. Like, we should have been able to look at that situation and say, oh man, that's admirable of Big Ben, how he handled that situation, how he's seemingly taking this guy under his wing, or, how he didn't seem to be upset about the signing. And it's hard for us to say that he wasn't by the way he approached it. So I just wanted to see more leadership out of Ben in that scenario. So that's why I would say I don't know if I would think that Kevin Colbert catered because of that response alone. So, but good question, man. Very good question. I'm curious to see what some of you guys had to say about that in the chat. Relfax says Ben had so offensively. I know that we were so often, wide receiving O-line room. Okay. Colbert was about the team. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. What else you guys got? Anything else about Colbert? Not necessarily. But yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. Kenyon says Ben was passive aggressive. That was definitely one of the worst sides of Ben. You know, very passive aggressive, man, whether it was towards coaching staff or players. Or one other thing, Steeler Card says here, Kevin Colbert's last few drafts were not the best, to say the least. Okay. Can't really argue with that too much. So very good question, man. Very, very good question, and I appreciate it. Looks like we only got one other call right now, man. Fire up the phone queue, man. If you want to get your voice heard, you want to get your opinion out there, give us a call. Next up, 651. What you got for us?
Hey, what's up? What's up with you, Sam?
What's going on, brother?
Not much, man. I just wanted to say, man, I'm glad that our front office got more discipline than I do, because ain't no way I could have sat there and saw Brian Thomas Jr., just sitting right in front of us. But they made the best decision, and it was the right decision. I'm just glad that they can stick to their guns, man, because that tackle is something different. Like, one of the clips where he's spinning in a full circle and was still in front of the DN was crazy. Between that and if he's blocking and his guy doesn't come right away, he's gonna ear hole whoever that's right next to him every single time. Like, small things like that are crazy. Where it's one pass set where the guy didn't even realize what he was supposed to be blocking. He blocked him into where he should go and got all the way across the formation and made another block. Like, you can't buy that. Another thing is Roman, man, he reminds me of Lance Moore a lot. I don't know if people remember him from New Orleans, but he really reminds me of him. Not just because he's light-skinned, but it's the same build, the speed, the route running, all of that. So, I mean, that was a really good pick, too. But the last thing I want to say, too, is about Cam Sutton, man. That's one of the reasons I think that we didn't get a corner, because months ago when he finally turned himself in, I was shocked at how quickly his charges were lessened. So it made me think that maybe it was more out there than what really was, because now he's just in a diversion program. So, I mean, I would hope he wouldn't have done something like that to his wife, but, life is happening outside of football. So I hope that's not the case. But I did notice that those charges were lessened really quick. It's normally a whole string of process before that, but hopefully, it works out for the best outside of football. But that's all I got.
Man, thanks for the call, man. You always bring some real interesting perspectives. Let me speak on Cam real quick, and I want to get back to Fautanu. Yeah, I mean, listen, the one positive that you could say is there still is no Cam Sutton. Played with us for a fairly decent time, right? And maybe they don't have to question his character. And like you said, maybe it's not what we think. That's why I'm one of those people who really leave by innocent until proven guilty. I live and really breathe that, because I've known people, man, woman, that were innocent of things, and people tried to, kill them and automatically believe this. And then when the truth came out, so I am a firm believer in that. I don't, I just don't cast judgment until I know what they actually did. You pick fun, because I think, when we saw Cam Sutton in the news, myself, Kenyon, and Tony, we made our little jokes. I was like, man, instead of doing that, while you beating her, you getting beat on the field, talk about with the Lions. But again, I don't make it's kind-hearted, it's ha-ha jokes between us, but I don't really joke about, those type of activities, man, sexual assault or domestic violence, any of those type of things. It's not a laughing matter, and I don't play that game. But yeah, maybe it wasn't as serious as, maybe it's a minor issue. And yeah, maybe Cam Sutton will be back in the fold. And again, if you guys remember what I did like about Cam Sutton and where I preferred Cam Sutton to be was in the slot. And proof of that even showed in Detroit. Had no business being out there on that island all the time. He's a tough player, but he's not a island corner in the NFL. Not consistent. And every corner gets beat. But you guys understand what I'm saying. It was just too often. That's not his forte, but we shall see. But also, man, yes, that one thing that you said about the tackle, hope you guys saw the clip as well, where this dude would literally spin, like he's giving up a little ground, and he'll spin out to get back in front of the pass rusher. it's little stuff like that, man, that he got in his tool bag that I want to say you can't teach that, but at the same time, maybe you can. But I think you guys understand what I'm saying. The mentality enough, even if you rep that, right? Even if you rep that, to have that mentality to know when to do that and the instinct to do it at that moment just shows you what type of player you have. And guys, did y'all see this dude's video of when Tomlin called him? The passion in his eyes and his voice, crying. And it wasn't just because he was happy to get drafted. You heard what he told Tomlin. This is something that he was like, you have no idea how much this is something I dreamed of, because the dude was a Steelers fan as a kid. In fact, he even corrected Tomlin because Tomlin said that his father, was a fan. And in his press conference, he was like, no, I got to correct Coach real quick. I was the fan growing up. My father and them used to always wonder, why was I a fan of a team on the other side of the country? So you can see the passion on him and the way he talks and in his play, man. And he's going to give it 100% for the Steelers. So, yeah, I'm super excited by being able to give Fautano, man. Yeah, that's all I got to say on that. Man, I'm very surprised. The phone queue is light. I'm surprised you guys are not blowing it up. So, hey, no big deal. No big deal. I know it's a slower period. We still got good viewership here, so that's all I care about. Let's read some comments, man. Let's get on some comments real quick before we close this thing out tonight. Shout outs to my good brother, Y Diggy. Y Diggy says, Fautanu is a versatile offensive lineman. Frazier and McCormick are maulers. Wilson is the anti-Deontay Johnson. Peyton Wilson can be special if he holds up. Yeah, man. Just watching Wilson, just watching some film on him. I encourage all of you guys to do that. Just go check him out. His effort and his motor, and he got the speed. Like, not only do he have the motor, them RPMs is high. His motor actually runs. The boy runs a 4.43, I think they said. And that's fast. Okay, again, a lot of people get fooled by 40 times thinking if it ain't 4.3 or better. No. 4.4, Go check out the clip they showing how he hawked this dude down. Like, yeah, that's fast. Very fast. Let's see what else y'all got. Oh, Lord. Y'all saying the Sixers went to OT. Man, I put my own thoughts of the Sixers doing anything in this playoffs. I put that thought out of its misery. So it's not going to hurt me so bad, because it's just one of them things, man. It's one of them things with my Sixers. I'm going to ride with them. I'm going to ride or die. I had to watch great Allen Iverson not win a title, and just the agony of every year just not doing it. And we get to the finals, and of course, when my boys get to the finals, they face off against Kobe and Shaq. Come on. It just hurts. The 76ers are not a direct equivalent, but it's like they're like my Browns. Right? They are the Browns for me in football terms. Like how Browns fans have to feel. That's how I feel about my Sixers. But I'm ride or die. But yeah, I'm not expecting nothing tonight, man. And furthermore, I'm not expecting anything in these playoffs. If they win tonight, okay. But I still think the Knicks are going to beat them, and it is what it is. Still rooting for them. I'm just not expecting anything. So if they surprise me, they surprise me. What else y'all got? Yeah, Gracie, man. It's tough being a Sixer fan. But you got to stay with them, right? I ain't one of them fake fans, man. Even when my team don't do well, I'm with them. I'd rather die. I've been through the process and all of that. What else y'all got? Somebody said, Gracie said they clocked him going 23 miles per hour talking about Peyton Wilson. Yeah, that is outstanding. Can't wait to see this kid running around. Let's see. Forcework says it's funny how everything is Ben's fault in a Super Bowl or playoff game, and Tomlin gets no blame. Okay, I don't know where you're getting that information. I think most people would, and especially here in this chat, I think we give Tomlin blame where blame is due. With the blame that's supposed to rely on, lay in his lap, we give him that blame. So I'm not sure where you're getting that info from, or is that just with how you feel? But yeah, I don't know. And I don't blame Ben completely either. I mean, blame Ben all you want for people who do that, but you got to put the Super Bowl win against the Cardinals squarely in Ben's hands. I mean, what he did on that last drive is nothing short of amazing. The James Harrison interception, nothing short of amazing. You know what I mean? So it's, I give equal blame and equal credit across the board. I did see somebody earlier. I saw a comment where you guys says, one of you guys said something about, where was it? Something about Tomlin is holding the team back or something. And I'm like, only thing I ask guys, when you have opinions, whether they're good or bad for a coach or player, just give me some meat on the bone. Give me a little more. Don't just blindly just say, oh, so-and-so sucks, so-and-so's good. I want to hear your reasoning behind it, because I like dialogue. I like perspectives. So I like to hear people's opinions, right? So if you have an opinion about a coach, a player, hey, even me, give me some meat on the bone so I can, so we can have some. Oh, there it was. Shout outs to Michael O'Malley. He says Tomlin is handicapping the team. So I want you to expound. Tell us why you feel like that. Maybe some of us agree. Maybe some of us don't, but expound on that. Kev So Nice says, should we trade for a wide receiver? I don't know, man. I'm almost at the point of let OTAs and at least like a mandatory mini camp, at least let that happen so they can kind of sort out what they got before they go seeking a trade. Because again, I think even Coach Tomlin and the offensive staff outside of Arthur Smith, I think they need to see Arthur Smith's installment. And I'm sure the coaches already know, but I think they need to see players installing the offense. And then they can properly assess, okay, we need another receiver, and then maybe go do something before the season, or, get a guy in early enough to still get some of the training camp experience. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you make a move right now unless they fully know that they need another receiver to do X, Y, Z. You know what I'm saying? But right now, I think my opinion would be is get through the mini camps and the OTAs and then assess it. After you've installed the offense, you're seeing these guys run it, then assess whether or not you must have a wide receiver, and you could trade for one at that point. Just my opinion. Gracie says Tomlin took a hurt team to 10-7. He only can work with what he has. Okay, I could agree with that, but also I can understand. Let me just say this: I can see where those who are not necessarily fans of Tomlin, I can see where they could poke holes in his coaching style. And I would say the biggest hole or biggest indictment against Mike Tomlin, that if anybody had it, is some would probably feel like he should have more than one Super Bowl. That's fair. You win one, you go to another, haven't been back. That's fair. It's fair. I guess because if people want to say that that's fair. Y'all know what I always say. I feel like the Killer B era was the time that I felt like we get another one. But the defense we didn't have the defense to match. And again, you put that on everybody's head. Head coach, front office, defensive coaches. But to me, looking at the success that he's had as a head coach, that to me would be the only indictment, if there is any, is to say, man, he should have won more than one Super Bowl. And that's a fair critique over, a 17-year span. So, but other than that, like I said, man, I just, again, aside of putting any personal feelings there, I don't understand the disdain for Mike Tomlin. I don't get that. Again, just looking at the success of your team, the team has been successful. So it's hard to, I don't know. And again, I'll use one of his phrases, put a nameless great face on the coach. It would be hard for me to have a disdain for a coach that has been able to keep a team in the conversation and successful for the amount of years that he has. I can have aspects of him that I don't like, sure, but I'm talking about some people just hate the coach, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know how you I don't know how you get to that conclusion, but it's all good, man. And some of y'all know what it is. Let's see. And it's a whole lot, man. You think about over the years, our front office didn't spend a lot of money. Sometimes we would just sit and do the same thing. We didn't take a lot of risks. Like, it's so many different elements that goes into why the Steelers haven't won number 7. It's not just Ben Roethlisberger. It's not just Mike Tomlin. It is the whole collective. Front office, staff, head coach, quarterback, defensive players, defensive coach. Like, so much more goes into that. But what else y'all got? Nathan Manco says, Sim, if we sign DJ Shark, will he sign a 2-year deal or a 1-year deal? I think right now, honestly, guys at that level, they're probably 1-year deal type of guys, probably league minimum type of guys. That's what I would think. Kenya says, was Andy Reid a great coach pre-Mahomes? Woo! I want you guys to answer that. Kenya says, was Andy Reid a great coach pre-Patrick Mahomes? Now, let me tell you guys how I think. I would say yes. I think, now, great, people have their different things that qualify you to be great. So I would say he was a good, solid coach, even before Patrick Mahomes. Just didn't win the big game. But the Eagles was wildly successful. They just didn't win the big game. His record spoke for itself. They just didn't win the big game. Got to one. Terrell Owens out there playing on a broke leg. Almost got the Patriots out of here. Just didn't win the big game. But I would personally say, yes, Andy Reid was a great coach. Because, again, it's more than, I know this is blasphemous, but it's more than just winning Super Bowls, man. Like, that's not my criteria for a great coach. Some people are just great coaches as far as what they do across the board, how they connect to their players, their play calling, their X's and O's. I mean, it's so many different things that I could say that's a great coach right there. And unfortunately, some great coaches, just like some great players, don't win the big game. But, again, I can understand anybody saying that he wasn't great. Again, everybody has a different criteria for great. Because, again, since the Sixers are playing, we talk about basketball a little bit real quick. There's plenty of great players who never won a title. And I think, me personally, I think us as a fan base, just largely, people forget the element of team when it comes to championships. As many basketball players that never won the big game. And people will say that these players aren't great and da-da-da-da. Come on, you're not telling me that 2 of my favorite players of all time weren't great. Allen Iverson was great. Charles Barkley, great. They never won titles. But like I said, man, we can't forget the team aspect of the game. You just can't forget the team aspect. I could go down a deep rabbit hole with that, but What else y'all got? Give me a few more, man, before I go. I respect that Limit Green. He says good, not great. Yeah, I can respect someone saying that Andy Reid wasn't great before Mahomes. I can respect that because, again, a lot of people tag that word great to championships. But again, Andy Reid has been the same coach, right? Patrick Mahomes took him over the hump. Think about that. Andy Reid has been Andy Reid. Patrick Mahomes, along with Tyreek Hill at the time, we're talking about the first time, Travis Kelce, Eric Bieniemy, what's my man name, the defensive guy? Y'all know who I'm talking about. His name just slips my mind right now. Spaz, right? He had all of that as a compliment, and they started winning the big game. So think about that. Same coach, but you add a generational talent in Patrick Mahomes, and the next thing you know, that marriage comes together like this, they win the big game. And that's why I say I can separate the two. I can identify this is a great coach right here, even if he hasn't won a Super Bowl. Just my opinion. What else y'all got? Can you take my call? Absolutely, Deron. I didn't know you was in the queue. Let's grab your call real quick, man. Keep it short for us, but we'll make this the last call of the night. Area 330, what you got for us?
Hey, what's up, man? It's been a minute. First off, I don't think that right now we need another receiver. Let's see what we got. We got a lot of young, talented players. So let's see what we can do before we go and get that outside source. Also, wanted to let you know I am coaching my son's 9U flag football team. And for the first time in my 10 years of coaching flag football, I am the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Here we go. Just wanted to give that shout out, geeked up. I know that you would be geeked for me too, man. Thank you for taking my call, man.
Man, absolutely. Thanks for calling, Deron, man. That's what's up, man. I'm gonna say something real quick, man, and see if you guys agree. Deron is doing something that's hard for me to do, right? My wife keeps telling me, man, you should coach, because even with his AAU team, and listen, I played basketball, through middle school, but I'm not a basketball guy. I played more like a forward, right? And I just didn't get tall. I didn't get 6'4", 6'5", 6, all of that. So I kind of let basketball go. I wasn't really a guard. My claim to fame is I could shoot, right? I could drop some threes on you. Still could shoot the rock, right? I was a good rebounder. But the game outgrew me literally, right? So I've never was the X's and O's type of basketball guy the way I am football. So long story short, my wife is always saying, you should coach. But Deron, I give you so much credit because, man, depending on the age of these kids, I'm one of these people who I need a certain age level because I'm going to be expecting them to do too much. So salutes to you. I respect all of the dads, man, and just men in general that can coach a 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year, you know what I mean? And have that, have the patience. Even just now, I'm sitting there watching my son's practice and his things, and I'm like, man, y'all should be doing this. But then I have to remind myself, man, they 10 years old, man. They 10 and 11. You know what I'm saying? But again, I've seen other teams in some of these AAU tournaments. Man, let me tell y'all. In their first tournament, they played this team from Philly. And some of y'all already know what I'm saying without me having to say it. They played like Philly, inner city Philly, and them boys was hooping. And I'm like, see, some of that is natural talent, but I'm saying the way them kids was just passing the ball, swinging and taking the wide open jumper when they had it. They had a kid that was like 5'10", drop step, layup. You know, it was nasty. But anyway, like I said, shout outs to Jerome, man, because it's hard for me to coach a certain age group. I feel like I probably couldn't get into coaching until, I'll say 13 and higher, because then I could really put more expectations on a kid. And I know my limit. So, you know, I help out and stuff like that, but not the full-blown coach by any means. So shout outs to you for being able to do that, man. Respect. Oh, man, look at that. We got a donation, man. Round of applause to the good brother, Wide Diggy. He says, who's better, MT, who y'all say inherited, who has been, oh, he said, who's better, MT, who you say inherited, who has been consistent for 17 years, or George Seifert, who inherited Walsh's team, 1-2, but flamed out afterwards? Wow, that's a good question right there. So again, guys, he's saying who's better, Mike Tomlin, who people would say he inherited a team, saying he inherited Bill Cowher's team, won a Super Bowl, went to another, and had 17 years of a non-losing season, or George Seifert, who was largely known or said that he inherited Bill Walsh's team, won 2 Super Bowls, but flamed out afterwards. That's a great question. So I would like to see what you guys have to say. 55 Porter says, I think Seifert only won 1. Okay, possible. I'm not familiar 100% right off the top of the head how many he got. I will trust Why Diggy's research there, but you know, we all can be corrected if we're not right. What else? What else y'all got? Comment on that. What y'all said? He said, Kev, you don't want that. Trust me. What y'all talking about, Kenyan culture? Oh, he says Sim the OC and Kenyan the scout. Yeah, Antoine says, I know what you mean. Let me tell y'all something, man. And I'm going to just say it as real as I can say it. You can tell them was some kids from the hood. And I mean that with all respect. Because I know what that be like. Like, it's a different type of, it's a different flavor when you just be on the court all day. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and I be trying to teach my son that, like, look, you know, it's, you in AAU, you're going to see different types of people, right? And it's just a different level of talent. Like, if you was outside all the time and on the playground, especially in the city, it's just them kids grow up faster. You know what I'm saying? So, and boy, let me tell you, Twan, them boys was hooping. I mean, they was blowing my mind. They was blowing everybody out. Kenyon said he wanted to see you and me on the court. Nah, I'm gonna go ahead and say Kenyon probably got me in basketball, man. That was Kenyon's thing. So I'm going to trust. And Kenyon, you know, Kenyon even looked like his build. He looked like a dude who balled. And I know Kenyon's got a little height too, man. So nah, I'm gonna go ahead and give that one to my good brother Kenyon. He probably got me in ball. Only thing I will say, don't leave me open though. Don't leave me open. I can still fire that thing. I can fire that thing now. And it's funny because my son can shoot, man. Like, he really can. He can shoot the rock. Now I'm just trying to get him to lock in on defense. And, you know, I finally have taught him how to run around the perimeter and be like a catch and shoot type. And, man, he hit a bucket in their last game that was beautiful. I might actually put it up. I might actually put it up and show y'all one day, man. Maybe I'll throw it in the middle of the stream and say, look, check him out. But yeah, man. Oh, the Sixers won. Y'all saying the Sixers won? Well, I'll be down. Wait, Limit Green says the New York is too much. So did they win or did they lose? Y'all confusing me right now. I think y'all saying they won and they're gonna have a game 6 back in Philly. But all right, man, what else y'all got? Anything else before I sign off, man? Somehow y'all pushed me to almost an hour. You guys always give me the juice, man. 110, 107. Lord have mercy. How much Embiid had? Well, I'll look it up for myself, but Maxey went up. Man, I love that boy, man. Let me tell y'all something. I seen the love for Maxey. Just I was like, I like this kid. Even when Harden was there, you could see he had that spark. And then now with him running that thing on his own without Harden, the boy answered all of my questions because I said, yo, is he gonna be able to keep this up on his own? And yes, Maxey is that dude, man. And that right there, I got my son watching him too. Because I'm showing him how he slashes. You know, I actually got, my son is working with a trainer right now too. So he gonna be right. He gonna be right. But I'm teaching him how to have that type of style, man. Maxey is a slasher. Like that boy get to that basket. Love Maxey. But it's just a shame, man, having a guy like him, having an Embiid that you never know is gonna be healthy the whole season or not. It's just tough to think that we ever gonna win anything, man. Real talk. Man, I don't think they win this series. It's just cool to see them be competitive, man. But all right, man, anything else about the Steelers? If not, we're going to wrap this thing. Why Diggy says, by the way, not a basketball guy. Yeah, Diggy, that you and me is one and the same. My main sports, man, is football and boxing. And not that I don't love basketball. I mean, I'm a sports guy, right? But if you want to ever get to talking to me about the details of the sport and the sweet science and X's and O's and all of that, football and boxing is where I'm going to live. Because I know boxing. I really know boxing. I've been watching boxing since I was like, those are my sports. All right, but that's it, man. Appreciate y'all, again, rounding me off a whole hour here. Not much to talk about during this time of year, so the fact that we can keep it rolling, man, thank y'all so much, man. Y'all are the reason I do it. I appreciate y'all coming through like each and every week. If any news breaks throughout the week, I will definitely post pre-recorded videos, so check that out. I might start, giving some quick updates on certain players. I'm trying to just find some more content, man, to keep going. It's tough, man, to do like a weekly podcast when it's a slow period. So I'm definitely trying to find some content to bring to you guys that at least you would feel that's interesting before Tuesday. So we'll see. So stay tuned. But other than that, man, before you go, I'm going to remind you guys, if you're new to the channel, of course, if you like what you saw here tonight, make sure you subscribe. If you like the video, hit the like button. But more importantly, once you've done both of those, make sure you cut on the notification bell. Because if you don't do that, how would you know I'm streaming or a video has been posted? Huh? How would you know? But all right, man, y'all take it easy. Y'all know my routine. I'm always going to advise you guys to stay safe, stay healthy. God bless. Good night. Thank you for tuning in. And like always, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.